What up, YouTube? I'm back with another episode of The Crisscross Show, and I've got some news I'm excited about, at least for the next coming weeks, since I'm quarantined at home, just along with the rest of the world. Right now, we're loosely quarantined. People are still working in and out, so I consider it loosely quarantined. But me, not going outside for at least the next 14 couple days, or at least when I actually need to really go outside. So one thing I'm really excited about doing is, so I was, I'm a huge basketball fan, so I was a little upset about not being able to watch basketball, especially being quarantined. And I was thinking about rewatching like old games. And as fun as that sounds, like honestly, right now before I got on video, I was actually watching some, the Miami Heat days, the Heatles, the LeBron Cav days. I was just watching some highlights. And as fun as that would be to rewatch an entire game, like an NBA Classic game, knowing the end result to me is exciting, but it's not as exciting because I know the end result. So one thing I did, I saw on I saw on I think it was on Twitter where like in Los Angeles they did like a simulation of NBA 2K of like the Lakers winning their 51st game of the season or something like that. So I decided to yesterday watch two NBA Classic teams go at it. 12-minute quarters on superstar level, so the AI was kind of there. And I did the 2013 Miami Heat versus the 2016 Golden State Warriors. And interestingly enough, I watched the whole game. It was exciting, even though it was two computers going at it. The Miami Heat won 112 to 103 against the Warriors. The Warriors had like a 20-point lead in the third quarter, and then literally the computer just put Dwayne Wade, Ray Allen, Rashad Lewis, um, I think it was Chris Bosh, and Shane Battier, all of them. I might be forgetting one. I think James was left out, but I forgot who was the other person on there. And they came back and won the game, and so it was awesome to kind of see. I kept track of the stats. Dwayne Wade had 43 points, 8 rebounds, 15 assists, and he shot a good 18 of 32. Um, and also some other notables in that game was Ray Allen, 23 points, 6 rebounds, 10 assists. Um, for the Warriors, um, Steph Curry, 25 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 12 of 21 shooting. Um, and yeah, I mean, I just thought that game was awesome to just kind of watch. And so I had an idea. And my idea is kind of childish and kind of lame. But since I'm going to be inside, not being able to watch sports, especially basketball, I decided that I'd make up a tournament of NBA Classic teams and 40 NBA Classic teams. I chose them all. Of course, there's more than 40, but I chose them because I just thought it'd be fun. I chose the best ones, the ones that I thought were the best, or the ones that I thought made the most impact, ones that people remember them the most. Um, so I made a tournament. I seeded them all based on how I felt they fell under the seeds, um, and I'm really excited about it. I'll let you guys know the rules in a little bit, and I'll let you see the seeding or the brackets in a little bit. And I just thought it was awesome. Um, to just kind of see what I'm doing, how I'm handling these couple of days of not being able to watch. Because I mean, I'm playing video games too, but it gets boring after a while to the point where I just want to watch something. And my DC shows are kind of getting a little boring at this point right now. Um, and I know I wanted to watch, at least the entire season, but I'll still be able to. I'm just gonna be playing a couple games a day. I think I have in my tournament maybe like 60 something games planned to watch. So yes, I'll get into this in a little bit, but I just kind of wanted to give you guys a heads up on what these next couple of episodes are going to look like. All right, so my next couple of episodes are gonna be me pretending to be an NBA analyst, talking about these games like they're actually real. Um, and I just want to, I'll even film some marquee games. Right now, no games in my first round are marquee games. Honestly, um, I think the only marquee game right now that I can really like film is the 2020 Clippers versus the 1994 Nuggets. And yeah, and then also the 2011 Mavericks versus the 2014 Clippers. Those are the most recent teams, and I feel like those are the most exciting teams. But let's get into the rules right now. So I made NBA 2K20 tournament rules for the preliminary round. It's a 44 team tournament, so it's going to be a bracket of 32 with some pigtails in there. So the preliminary round is going to be 6-minute quarters, single elimination, difficulties in superstar. Foul out is 5 fouls. For my second round, I'm going to bump it up to 8 minutes. Single elimination, difficulty is superstar. Foul out is still 5. We're playing 8-minute and 6-minute quarters. We're going to go by high school and middle school rules a little bit. The Sweet 16 is going to be 8-minute quarters. Single elimination, difficulty is Hall of Fame. I'm bumping up the difficulty so the AI is a little bit better there. Obviously, when it's a Sweet 16, it should be top 16 teams. Foul out is still 5. Now for the Elite 8, 10-minute quarters, I'm bumping up the quarters. It's going to be a best of 3 difficulty, Hall of Fame, and foul out is going to be bumped up to 6. And after the Elite 8, I'm going to have consolation. So once you're in the top 8, you're going to have a consolation bracket when you lose, just because I want to do 7th and 8th place, 5th place, and 6th place. So the consolation round 1, 10-minute quarters, single elimination, difficulty, Hall of Fame, obviously fouls is 6. The semifinals, 10-minute quarters, best of 5 now. Difficulties, Hall of Fame, foul out is 6. So obviously there's a trend here. The minutes are starting to go up as we get higher in the rounds. All right, so my 7th place is going to be 10-minute quarters, single elimination, Hall of Fame, and 6 fouls, of course. 5th place is going to follow that same format as 7th place. My 3rd place game, though, is going to be 10-minute quarters, best of 3, difficulty, Hall of Fame, and foul out is 6. Now for my finals, and this is the most exciting one, 12-minute quarters, best of 7, difficulties, Hall of Fame, and foul out is 6. I know they're going to be really, really long once we get to the bigger rounds, and I'm excited. I'm going to start 6 games today. I'm going to start watching 6 games today. They're 6-minute quarters, so it's a 24-minute game, so it's not going to be that much. But yeah, like I said, I'm really excited about this tournament just because I finally get to watch basketball that I don't know the end result. So it's going to be really, 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 really awesome. And yeah, and I'll show you guys my brackets in just a couple seconds right here. So if you have any comments, concerns, or if you want me to live stream any games, then I will. I'm just live streaming maybe like the marquee games. Probably maybe not the whole game since they are 6-minute, 8-minute, 10-minute quarters. So it's going to be really, really long live stream if I do that. So really excited about it, and I'll show you guys right now my brackets. All right, so here's my bracket. I'm trying my best to kind of show you guys. I got this off printyourbrackets.com. They allow you to make however many teams you want, and that's the cool thing. And you can even customize it too. So what I did here is 44 single team elimination. You couldn't edit that. In my first bracket, I had NBA tourney, but I couldn't edit the name. But I can edit who's in what seed. So starting off here, the 96 Bulls, I'm going to give the Chicago Bulls credit, give them the number 1 seed overall. And as obviously you can see right here, this side of the bracket, the Bulls side of the bracket, is going to be pretty fun to watch. And then moving on to this side of the bracket, the 4th seed bracket. Obviously you have the 87 Lakers up on top, the 13 Heat, which I give them the 5th seed. And and obviously all these other teams here. Moving on to the third seed bracket. The 0-1 Lakers were my third seed, just because they had Shaq and Kobe. And this is all their matchups. One I'm really excited about is the 11 Bulls versus the 20 Raptors, just because Derrick Rose's MVP season. The Raptors coming off a championship, being the second seed in the East. Also, I'm excited about the 11 Mavs versus the 14 Clippers. I think two underrated teams. One was actually successful, and the other one was never lived up to the expectations. Now looking at this one, the 16 Warriors bracket, the second seed. I'm really excited about this, and the one game that I mostly like, first couple games that I'm really excited about is this side of the bracket, the 16 Cavs versus the 20 Lakers or the 98 Spurs. If the 20 Lakers win and they face the 16 Cavs, then it's going to be really, really crazy. I'm going to be, I'm a huge LeBron fan, so I'm going to be, a little indifferent about this. But yeah, like I said, I'm really excited about this bracket. I made it myself. I tried not to be biased. I did a lot of research yesterday on certain teams that I'm not well knowledged on. So I'm really excited about that, and just please let me know what you think before I get started. All right, so I'm really excited about this tournament. That's why I'm obviously YouTubing about it or posting about it. I'm really excited. I'm gonna be sitting down watching these games alone the entire time, and I'm gonna be really excited. I'm gonna keep track of stats just to give me something to do. Right now we're doing a bunch of e-learning stuff for school. So, there's a lot of downtime, when I'm waiting for students to email or I'm waiting for questions and concerns. There's a lot of downtime. So, I just kind of want to do that. I'll keep track of stats just to keep me busy, keep me doing something. Because, I feel like if I watch like 60-something games, I'm going to get real bored real easily, so I gotta keep track of stats to keep my attention on the games. And I'm really excited about that. And I hope you guys watch or even are concerned about my tournament and wanting to know who wins out. So I'm really excited about that. And I just can't wait to see what you guys think about this. So yeah. All right, now getting into something else, changing topics here. The NFL free agency has started, and a lot of surprises, in my opinion, like the Vikings extending Kirk Cousins by 2 years, Minnesota also trading Stephon Diggs, Houston trading Hopkins. And it's just so crazy. And Tom Brady signing with Tampa Bay. Now, look, this is what I'm going to say about the NFL. Is a lot of players are leaving, and that's what happens. Like some of these like no names leave, like like a left guard leaves or something. Nobody really bats an eye until the season actually starts, and teams really miss that certain player. So going to the biggest free agency signing that I think is in everyone's mind is Tom Brady going to Tampa Bay, and I heard something about Tom Brady taking Jameis Winston's place. And Jameis Winston, he's amazing and he's awful. Like there's literally no in between. 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. And so I just think I like Jameis Winston in college when he was at Florida State. It was awesome. I thought he was great. But he never really translated well. Like he was a little bit of a loose cannon in college. I remember that one story if he stood up and on the desk and was shouting or whatever, did something. So he's a little crazy. So obviously his NFL story isn't surprising to a lot of people. 30 interceptions, 30 touchdowns. He's a really great quarterback, but when he's really awful, he's really awful. And I think Tom Brady taking his place with all those weapons that Jameis Winston's had, with the coach that I'm hearing that he's like an offensive genius. I think it's a good fit. Do I think he's going to win a Super Bowl this year? No. Do I think he's going to win his division? His division is what? Cam Newton, Drew Brees, and Matt Ryan. Whatever happens with the Falcons will depend if the Tom Brady wins his division, because the Falcons recently have not been good since their Super Bowl run. The Saints, they were good last year, but you can tell that Drew Brees was old. You can see it on the field. You can see him not being able to do certain things that he used to, and certain things that they needed him to do during that game. I think Tom Brady, with the weapons he has, he should be able to benefit. I know Mike Evans. I had him on my fantasy league a couple years ago. He did me a lot of points. He's a good wide receiver. Um, and I think Tampa Bay has all the weapons to win their division, at least. Not necessarily to win, because I still think that if you're in the NFC, you have to go through Aaron Rodgers, you have to go through Jimmy Garoppolo, you have to go through Russell Wilson. All these great quarterbacks in their teams that you have to go through in order to win. I just don't know. Maybe he can win his division, go 11-5. I don't think he's gonna win. Um, you know, the Super Bowl this year. I mean, who knows? But I just don't think he's gonna win the Super Bowl. I think he'll make it to the divisional round. I just don't think that he's gonna make the Super Bowl. But yeah, that covers it with Tom Brady for me. Um, Other NFL news, I mean, not really anything exciting. I mean, Kyler Murray and Arizona Cardinals got DeAndre Hopkins. I think that's a good thing for Kyler Murray, because Kyler Murray was great last year, surprisingly. Um, he was better than the Oklahoma pick of the a couple years ago, but I think he finally got someone to throw it to. He was just kind of figuring out who to throw it to. And yeah, and I think the trade's good for both teams. Apparently, Hopkins and O'Brien got into a bunch of fights, but it is what it is. Moving on to Nick Foles with the Chicago Bears. I mean, Chicago's got it all right everywhere else except for the quarterback. I don't know. I mean, I like Nick Foles. He had that one glorious Super Bowl run, and I think they're thinking that if Mitch Trubisky can at least make him to at least in the playoff hunt, and don't switch to Nick Foles and tell him, hey, just do what you did with Philadelphia, just do it for us. So I think maybe that's what will happen with Nick Foles and the Bears. Also, who is that other team I'm thinking about? Dallas. I mean, I don't know. With Dallas, they're a funny team, because I think they're pretty good on both ends of the field. I just think, and I like Dak Prescott. I don't think Dak Prescott deserves 40 million. I mean, I think he's under the 30 million range. Um, so I don't know. I just think he's good. He just hasn't proven it yet, and we're expecting a lot from this guy. We're expecting, in my opinion, I think we're expecting too much from Dak, to the point where it's like, why are we expecting so much? He came in as a I think fourth or sixth round pick. He wasn't gonna play. He was gonna be a backup. Tony Romo gets hurt. All of a sudden, he's taken all this. He's done well with it. He hasn't had a losing season. If you consider 8-8 a losing season, then that's different. But he hasn't had a losing season, and I think it's crazy that we're expecting so much out of Dak Prescott, when we forget that he came in, expecting to be 20-year almost backup, at least for the next 2-3 years. And yeah, and I mean, Dak Prescott's really a really good quarterback. I think he's handled everything, all the drama in Dallas, well. He wants his 40 million. He wants his 40 million because I think he's like, I've dealt with all this crap. Give me the money. But I don't know. I think he's maybe worth 30 million, 33 max. He hasn't, he's won one playoff game. But make the NFC Championship, and then you'll get a contract. I guarantee it. If he made the NFC Championship this year, he would have gotten that contract, no hesitation. But I don't know. I don't make the rules up with the NFL. So, that's just my opinion. And moving on to my last topic of the NFL, the Cleveland Browns Apparently they upgraded. I didn't really pay attention, but I heard they signed a couple people. Um, they're keeping Odell. They're keeping Jarvis. I think it'll work. I want it to work. I think that division is wide open right now. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, and then Big Ben and the Steelers are, supposed to be like, the division front runners. I think the Browns, they can potentially sneak in, maybe steal a game or two against the Steelers and the Ravens this year, and I think they're in a good place. Um, I want Baker to do good because I liked Baker in college. Um, and, I don't know. I mean, I just think that the Browns, at least for these next 2 years, it's their year to kind of at least make the playoffs. Make the playoffs is all I'm asking. I don't care if you get blown out by 20 to the Buffalo Bills in the divisional round. Make the playoffs. Like, that's, I like Baker, and I just want him to make the playoffs just to kind of prove some haters wrong. Um, and yeah, that's just my opinion on that. Didn't really have much else to say about the NFL. That's kind of my 8.5 minute spiel about the NFL. So just let me know what you think in the comments of what you think my opinion on the NFL free agency is like. All right, so to kind of wrap up this, at least show or episode for right now, please let me know what you think of my tournament. Let me know what you think of my NFL free agency, spiel, predictions, or thoughts. I'd really appreciate it. I'll obviously be on my phone the entire time because I'm not going out anywhere. I'm not going to do anything else other than probably just watch a bunch of NBA games on 2K. So, please let me know what you think. And, just kind of comment suggestions for anything. I'll do a ton of more episodes in the next coming weeks. Since I'm obviously going to be in here for at least a couple more weeks inside, or as inside as possible. So let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. I appreciate any comments. I haven't had any comments yet, but I appreciate any criticism or any advice you have for me. So yeah, let's. Thanks.